conversation here about growing economies in an inclusive manner can't happen without a focus on financial inclusion. For a lot of sub-Saharan African countries, that has happened through the power of the mobile phone, especially the explosion in access and ease of use and availability of mobile money services. Here's the thing though, it's very easy to get blinded by the success of products like M-Pesa, which has performed beyond anyone's expectations. And that may make you forget that in countries like South Africa, mobile money simply hasn't had the effect that some may have thought it would have. Earlier on, I covered that topic with the governor of the South African Reserve Bank. Governor, mobile money in South Africa, Vodafone, MTN, we've seen them pulling back from the market. What is it about this market that makes mobile money difficult to work with?
I think that the first thing is that you must understand where mobile money took off. It took off because of low financial development. In other words, where you didn't have banks with a massive footprint. And so where you do not have banks with a massive footprint is much easier. In our case, what you have is banks which had a commitment to roll out financial inclusion, and they almost like decided to do it the conventional way rather than doing it in the form of mobile money.
Theoretically though, does mobile money even have a future in South Africa?
Yes, it does, and this is where I am getting to. And because you see, you just talked about mobile money, and I actually would like to broaden that and look at fintech and say that what you are having now is that the fintech companies are coming in, they are eating the breakfast of the banks, and we are seeing a trend happening here in South Africa that is happening in the developed world. I think that two of the banks that we are considering licensing at the moment are actually basically using fintech, but they are going to do this on the back of a banking license, and they are all using technology, and they are saying that they are moving from the basis that they already have a big client base. So what have we seen elsewhere in the world? When these things really take off in the developed world is that the banks go and buy these companies. So one of the fintech companies that was making strides actually got acquired by an overseas bank, which said, okay, that is the only way in which they will be able to do retail in South Africa, because the South African banks are already so big and have got such a massive footprint, and you are not going to be able to take them on. In any of the countries where you have got developed banking systems, mobile money does not take off that fast. But as I had said, now with the fintech, the way in which fintech is coming now, where it says that this thing is not just about mobile money, it's about a whole range of how you provide a whole range of financial services to customers.
We can't talk about financial technology without talking about data security and talking about cybercrime as well. That's been an emerging problem pretty much right across the board in other markets. How big a problem is it in South Africa?
It was big enough to get the central bank worried that the central bank convened a big cybersecurity conference last year to raise awareness about cyber threats. And the stuff about cybersecurity is that it runs beyond the financial sector. You need all sorts of people involved, including the security agencies of a country. It is now a big issue, so much so that the Bank for International Settlement had decided to establish a working group to look at the issues of cybersecurity.
What's the SARB's position on cryptocurrencies and the underlying tech like blockchain?
I'm glad you asked about the underlying tech, because we have separated the cryptocurrencies from the technology. The technology that underpins cryptocurrencies is actually very, very useful beyond the cryptocurrencies themselves. It will change the whole dynamics about how settlements are done, and if correctly applied, could actually even reduce the amount of capital that the financial industry would have to hold to deal with settlement risk. Cryptocurrencies are a different ball game altogether. all central banks are trying to figure out how this thing works and what it actually means. Is it really acceptable, accepted as a medium of exchange and of settlement of debt? So far, it looks like it is. And again, as central banks around the world, we ended up having to say we need a better understanding of what is going on with these cryptocurrencies. And the truth of the matter is that people are telling us that it is secure and all the laws. The truth of the matter is that as things stand, if you counterfeit, the bank knows that we produce, everyone can tell whether they are counterfeited or not. With the cryptocurrencies out there,
It's
if somebody just it's a different ball game. And of course, I mean, again, same with the discussion we were having earlier on about cybersecurity.
Yep.
As people move towards mobile money and all and this stuff, so does crime. It moves away from the streets and moves into the cyberspace. And that is the challenge that we constantly have to face with. We have got to try and be ahead of the bad guys in this.